So noticed this, I have told you what I told you that in this point, A has exactly one final state which is not co-accessible from any other state. So in case of that, you cannot able to draw the Thompson construction method. So what is, I have told you the meaning of that A has exactly one final state. So A is your finite automata. So it is saying that it should have only one final state, and that final state is not co-accessible from any other state. So I just take the meaning of it as like this, that q0 and q1, that it should, any other state should not co-access this final state. But this is wrong, because if you clearly see A plus B, we have seen that two states are accessing this one. Okay, so if you clearly see uh, this the implementation of A and A plus B in this Thompson construction method, you can see this state, if I just call this state as q1 and this state q2, they are co-accessively uh, ex, uh, accessing accessing the final state qf. So the meaning of it is clearer in the next sentence. So it is saying that uh, A has exactly one final state qf. Now it is talking about qf. I think that point I missed here, that which is not accessible from any other state. It means that for a transition of QF on A, it should be epsilon. Okay, so it means that the state QF, the meaning of this that this QF, that this QF should not have a transition. It is just saying that if you clearly see, if I am going like there's any other state accessing it, but the transition from it, like the transition from it, like from B, it should not be there. I think the meaning of this is like that. Okay, let me again see if it is correct. Okay, so again this is the meaning of this, that from this q node there should not be any transition here. So from the final state there should not be any transition possible. So the meaning of this like this, I don't think that it is written correct here. So if they have written like this, I think most of you will understand. They're saying the transition on QF should be a phi. It means that the transition on QF should not be defined. Okay, if you see in the clearly examples here, so the transition on QF is not defined here. The transition on QF is also not defined in this one also. The transition on QF is not defined in this one also, and in this one also. Okay, so it is coming towards the final state, but on final state the transition of F is not defined. So that is the exact meaning of this thing. Okay, so I think I just made a mistake in reading the statement. Okay, so before continuing now, if just let me open it. So your group is one. Okay, so week is 6 and we are at our last lecture. Okay, so till now, if you see, we have done like a finite automata, we have completely done. Then we have done regular expression. Okay, so regular expression, if you remember, I have also I gave you a general idea and general idea and hierarchy, general idea of hierarchy of languages, grammars, and uh, your acceptance. Okay, so general idea of hierarchy is already given. What are the different grammars that there exist, and what are the languages there exist, and what are the kind of acceptors. Okay, so acceptors are your finite automata, languages are like regular language, and grammar are different grammars. Okay, so they are your generators. So regular expression is your acceptor. Okay, so keep this statement. I don't know why all of you make the mistake in this one, that regular expression is the acceptor. Okay, keep that thing in mind. Okay, so now we have done till this. Now I have shown you an informal way to convert. Informal way, I don't want to say it because this is an informal way, that I have shown you that A plus B can also be written like this. That for the expression or for a automata, you can derive it like this: A plus B star. Okay, so in that way, if you are able to find some patterns on your own, so that is also correct. Okay, so for formal techniques, we have done like Arden's method. So Arden's method is doing one and the same thing that we have done informally by just looking at the language and deriving the regular expression. So that you can also do it But just keep that in mind. Whatever the question, whatever the question suggests the language should be, all the strings that are present in the language should be derived from your regular expression. So that is the only compulsion. By going from a formal method like Arden's theorem, you can again derive a clean regular expression. So it can be clean, or you can directly reach it from here by using the informal way also. Okay, so that depends upon you, because in theory, we prefer this method, Arden's method, but practically, I think it will be more clear when you attempt MCQs or objective questions. Then you will see that we have to select the option from the various regular expression. Okay, so there, if you go and derive the regular expression or apply the Arden's theorem, first of all, it will become a whole lot of complex. Okay, so I always prefer, if you are attempting any competitive exam, go for the informal method. But if you are in theory, like our class is in theory, so you should prefer this Arden's theorem. Okay, so there is no way to know that which method you have followed to reach out a particular regular expression. So again, the regular expression generated by Arden's theorem is not the only one. It can also be different regular expression generating the same language. So don't worry if you are getting the different regular expression from Arden's method. That is not wrong. Okay, keep that thing in mind. Okay, so there is no compulsion about it. So the next one, I have told you that another formal method we have studied is Thompson construction method. Okay, so if you have seen this Thompson construction method, you have seen we have used this method to convert a regular expression into a finite automata. Keep that in mind. These both of these are opposite to each other. Here we got just wait for a minute. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, so here we are converting a finite automata to regular language. So if I just write it like this, that finite automata to regular expression, here we are getting regular expression to finite automata. So this is also formal method, but if you see, there are many problems in this. Uh, you can also apply informal techniques that I have told you, that a plus b star can be recognized like this. That is also correct. That is not wrong. But if you see, the Thompson construction method has a lot of limitations. Okay, so it has a lot of limitations. Like firstly, you will always in most general cases you will get a epsilon NFA. After that epsilon NFA, you have to convert it into NFA. Then you have to again convert it into a DFA. Then you have to minimize it. So it is a whole lot of a complex process. I don't suggest, because we are talking in a theory way. So this method you should know, but I don't suggest to use this method because it is wasting your time. Okay, you can directly by looking at the automata, you can directly derive your regular expression also. So the first thing, we why why are we all doing this? So this is another, if you look about the regular expression, the regular expression is generated, or a representer. Regular expression is a, oh sorry for that, I wrote it wrong here. The regular expression is a representative. I don't know why I wrote it wrong here. So regular expression is the representer of regular language. Okay, so the acceptor is your automatas. Keep that in mind. Okay, acceptor is your automata, language is your language, grammar is your generator. And generator means it generates a language. Acceptor means it accepts a language. So finite automata accepts the language. And regular expression, if you see, this is a regular expression. It represents a certain language. So that is why it is called a representer. Okay. So regular expression is a representer. Regular expression is a representer of a regular language. Okay. So clearly, another formal method that we will study is pumping lemma. Okay, so pumping lemma for regular languages. Okay, so this is kind of a formal method. It exists for regular languages, as well as it exists for context-free languages as well. Okay, so when we'll reach at context-free languages, we will study about the pumping lemma for context-free languages. So again, this method does what? It just recognize that which of the given language is regular or not. Suppose I've given a language like a raised to power n, b raised to power m, where n and m is greater than equal to 1. So I just write it like this: n and m is greater than equal to 0. So you know that this is a regular language because this n is not dependent upon this m. So we have again drawn an auto metaphor. So pumping lemma take this language. So take this language and tell you that this language is regular or not. Okay, so the formal definition of a pumping lemma, you can say that it just tells a language is regular or not. Okay, so just don't stress this word here. I will tell you what is exactly the meaning here. So I just informally told you that it will tell you that a language is regular or not, but exactly it is a lot more complexities included in here. Okay, so the uh, what is the meaning of that pumping lemma, you just keep that in mind, that pumping lemma first of all is a negative test or a negativity test. So what is the meaning of negativity test? Suppose this is a regular language, this L1. So I have given, so suppose this language, I just represent this language as L here. So this language is given to a pumping lemma. So I just said pumping lemma test. Okay. Okay. So now if this language passes the pumping lemma test, so there are two possibilities, whether it can pass or it can fail. Okay, so if it passes the pumping lemma test, I still cannot say that this is a regular language or not a regular language. Okay, I still cannot say. So keep that in mind. If pumping lemma we are using for regular languages is to identify that which language is regular, but if a certain language passes the pumping lemma test, we are still not sure that language is regular or not. But if it fails the test, we are very confident that the language is not regular here. Okay, so that is why this is called a negativity test, because if it fails, then we are very sure that the language is not regular. But if it passes, then we are again not sure that the language is regular or not. Okay, so that is the whole concept on which the pumping lemma is based on. Okay, so before going and doing pumping lemma, it is again a very mathematical method, and it has only three conditions. It's very simple to understand. It doesn't take any much more time. Okay, but before using that formal notation, so this is your formal notation, we will follow that formal method. I will again tell you informally that how can you recognize without using any method of regular languages, that you can recognize that a particular language is regular or not. Okay, so that too based on all the concept that we have learned earlier. Okay, so there is no there you can also apply formal methods like pumping lemma. You can apply it and see for yourself that your language is regular, but there are some patterns exist that take a lot of less time, because applying pumping lemma you have to again, because this is a mathematical method, you have to take care of the mathematical equations. After seeing suitable equations, that suitable condition, then you can tell that a particular language is that the particular language is passing or failing. Again, if it is passing the test, you are not sure that the language is regular or not. So to be very sure, the pumping lemma, so the particular language should fail. So I will always prefer that any language should fail the test. Then I can only show with 100% certainty that a particular language is not regular. But if it is passed the test, I am not confirmed that this is regular or not. Okay, so that is why pumping lemma is not a very preferred method, because it does not it does not verify, because if a particular language passes the test, how can I be sure that a particular language is regular or not? So suppose if a pumping lemma takes your like 5 or 10 minutes, after that it passes your test, and then you are again not sure that the regular is language that your language is regular or not. So to tackle that, I will tell you some informal way to look for it, and that too, that we have studied the concept earlier, that too from the concept that we have studied earlier, you can directly say that a particular language is regular or not. Okay, so I will take some questions and put in front of you. You can easily identify it. So firstly, if you remember that part, that we first of all, how to identify a regular language. So this is the burning question here, that how can you identify that a particular language is regular. Okay, so now if you remember the hierarchy that I have told you, in that hierarchy, if you remember, there is a regular grammar which generates regular language, and it is accepted by a acceptor, that is your finite automata. Okay, so in that we I'm just more specifically be talking about a NFA. So not epsilon NFA, not DFA. I will more prefer towards this NFA because it is very easy to draw. Okay, so now it is confirmed that if from this diagram I can just easily conclude that if you are able to make a particular NFA for a regular language, for us, for any regular set or a regular language, it directly means that this particular language is regular. Okay, so you can directly say it without any using any thing, that if for a L, if you are able to draw for any language, if you are able to draw NFA, then it means it is directly regular. So you can directly say it that the least level of this given language is a regular. So I can just convert this into a simple diagram that I can say that uh, if you are able to draw a NFA or a finite automata, any finite automata, be it a Moore-Mealy, be it a DFA, NFA, or epsilon NFA, but I prefer NFA because it is very easy to design. So given a language, if a NFA, there are two possibilities, then NFA can be drawn or cannot be drawn. Okay, so it is not possible to draw or it cannot be drawn. So if you are not able to draw, if you are not able to draw, it means the language is not regular. So you can again say it with 100% certainty that this is not regular. But if you are able to draw it, you can again say it with 100% certainty that this language is regular. Okay, so if you're talking about this one, that pumping lemma, you are again, when it passes, you are not sure. But if you are able to draw NFA, DFA, or a epsilon NFA or a Moore and Mealy machine for a particular language, you can directly say it that this language is regular. So first method that we have studied, that this is also an informal way to recognize this, that I have find I have found it that by looking at it, if by looking at the definitions of the languages, you can easily derive it also. Second one, I will again tell you when we do some question. There is another thing also. So if I just explain it also, so then that will be combined here. So if you see the languages that are not regular, like we have seen a certain language that is not regular, that looks like this: e raised to power n, b raised to power n, where n is greater than equal to 0 and it is greater than equal to 1 also. So what happens in that is this n is dependent upon this n. So there is a dependency of these two n's. So what happens? We are not able to draw a finite automata concerning this language. Okay, so why we are not able to draw it? So keep the memory element in mind. Okay, so if you are seeing some pattern that you have to remember to see other pattern, that then it means that we require a memory. So if you see anything that is related to memory, that I have to remember a certain pattern, then you can directly say that this is not regular. So this is also another way you can directly identify it. If you clearly see in this expression that A, if there are three A's, I have to see three B's. Okay, so then only I can go to the final state. So it means that I have to remember that I have seen three A's, then I have to see three B's, only then I can go towards the final state. Okay, so that is why, so to remember this, I need a memory here. So memory element is not present in finite automata. Keep that in mind, that is no memory element exist in finite automata. For that we need PDA. So PDA is finite automata plus memory. So that is the difference between it. Okay, so look out the first point, if you are able to draw NFA, that is well and good. If you are not seeing this expression, you see that you have to remember something. If you have to remember something, then it means that that particular thing is not regular here, because for to remember something I need a memory here. The third point that I can easily describe, that I can look, that anything that is finite, you can directly say it that this is a regular language. So this is also the third pattern. Again, this is also another property of it. By directly looking at if a particular language is finite, you can directly say it, because for a finite language you can always build the automata. Okay, so the problems that arise here, why we need automata, is to represent the infinite patterns. Okay, so finite pattern can already be represented in a finite automata. Okay, so I think you got the point. If you follow these 3 points, I don't think that you not be able to identify a regular language. Okay, so I just give you solutions. I give you questions of regular language. Again, these are some informal questions that I am doing. So after doing this, we will again switch to the formal method, that is your pumping lemma. So I will also tell you, but you should also be able to identify these 3 scenarios also. Okay, so all these 3 scenarios are based on the concepts that we have studied. So there is nothing different, and it is not wrong here. Okay, so most of the people use this kind of a techniques to identify a method is by avoiding a pumping lemma for a regular language. Okay, so I don't worry about it. I will tell you about the pumping lemma also. But if you can identify a regular language by just looking at it, that is a very good thing. Okay, so firstly, now you have to say yes or no that this is a regular language. Yes, just type in your chat box, yes, this is a regular language, and just type in the chat box that no, it is not a regular language. So yes or no you have to do. So the first question goes like this, that a raised to power n and n is greater than equal to 1. Is this language a regular language or not? I think you can easily do this. Okay, so most of you are saying yes. How do you recognize this? Because you can easily build the automata for this. The automata of this will be, yeah, this. This is very simple. Okay, so now I can directly say yes, this is a regular language. So for this, if I just increase here the second question, a raised to power n, b raised to power m, where n and m is greater than equal to 1. Can you say that this is a regular language or not? Just tell me. Okay, so again, second one is yes, yeah, absolutely. So yes, I think most of you are getting my point here, because we have again drawn the automata also. Again, the third thing can also be you can represent in this represent this by a regular expression as a star b star. Okay, this star, by writing this star, I am just saying that this star is not dependent upon this star. Okay, so you can directly write a regular expression if you are again able to write a regular expression also. Because what is a regular expression? I just add another thing also in this list, that if you are able to write a regular expression for a language, the regular expression is a representation of a regular language. Okay, so if you are able to write a regular expression, then it means that it is also regular. Okay, so that is another, the fourth method is also there. Okay, in a similar way, again I can write the regular expression. So by writing a star, it directly means that this star is not dependent upon this star. Okay, so keep that thing in mind. If I am just writing these two star in regular expression, the definition of regular expressions say that this star is not dependent upon this star. Don't assume like this is n and this is m. So this assumes like this is n and this is m. If this is there is another star, so this is again not dependent upon these two, or any of these stars, are all of the stars are independent here. Keep that thing in mind. Okay, so now this next expression, if I just write it, I think you know most of it. A raised to power n, b raised to power n, where n and m, where n is greater than equal to 0. So I think this is a classic example. You know about this. For third one, just tell me, is this is right? Okay. So most of you know, because if you remember, we are not able to build the construct, the finite automata of it. So this is not a regular language. Okay. So most of you will be thinking that I can write the regular expression like this, a star b star. Okay. So you cannot write it, because this n is dependent upon this n. So you cannot write this, because in the regular expression, if I just write a star here, it means that this star is not dependent upon this star. So this is not the regular expression for this one. This is the regular expression of the previous question. Keep that thing in mind, that this thing and this thing is different. Okay. So now if I just do this, okay. So now tell me, is this right? A raised to power n, b raised to power n, where n is less than equal to 2000. Is this correct or no? Is this regular? Yes or no? Is this regular or not? Just think about it. Okay, so anybody, is this regular or not? Okay, I think my connection was hanged right now. I caught it. Okay, so all of you said no. Okay, so you are again forgetting the third point here, that is finite. Okay, so if you see n is less than 2000, it means that it is finite. So for every finite thing, you can always build a finite automata. Okay, so keep that point in mind. So there are 4 points. If you keep these 4 points in mind, I don't think that you will suffer any mistake here. So I can also raise this to a power of anything, but if it is finite, because the value of n is less than equal to 2000, it can be also less than equal to 20 raised to power 10 raised to power 10. So this is also considered as finite. Okay, so this is a regular language. Keep that in mind. This is a regular language because of the n being finite. If anything is finite, it is always regular. Okay, so this is a trick there where most of the students will do wrong. So keep that thing in mind, that finite directly respond to a regular language. Okay, so there is no two opinions in that. They will always do that. Okay, so if I just write like this, that
Sir,
yes, please.
we have to remember that how many times A has repeated, right?
Yeah, you have to. If
But
you are okay, so if I just want to fix this, that a raised to power n b n, I just fix it to like where the n should be less than either the n. If I just fix it that n should be equal to 1. Okay, so I have fixed it that n should be equal to 1. So I have keep that expression in finite. Okay, so if I do this, I can get only one thing, that is a and b. Okay, so suppose I just increase it, that the n is less than equal to 2. So what is the language here? So the language here will become your epsilon. So it is less than 2, so epsilon is also less than 2. Now the another one will be, smallest will be AB, and the largest will be AABB. Okay, so this language is your finite language. Okay, so you can easily draw automata for this kind of a language. It only contains 3 strings. Okay, so if you are able to draw it, so it means that is finite. Okay, so that is why uh, for this 2000 also, I know that it will take a lot of time to build it, but you can draw it. Okay, so all the possible combinations that are there, you can accept it by using this type of thing. So I have used n less than equal to 2. You can again, if used n less than equal to 3. So for that particular finiteness, because this less than equal to provide us finiteness, I do not have to remember anything. So every pattern I can directly give it. Okay, so because of this finiteness, I can say that this is a regular language. So that is the concept here. Okay, so if you raise this to the power of 2, only this language you have to accept. I think you can easily draw a finite automata to accept this language. So there is no need of remembering. So a b a b b, you can directly make it. Okay, okay, understand, or you have any doubt? Okay,
no doubt,
so I
sir.
think, so that is why I'm saying, whenever there is a finiteness thing, always remember that regular language, if there is a finiteness related to something, uh, then you can directly say that this is a regular language. Okay, so again I can raise it like this. Like if you look at this question, WR. Okay, so I just tell you what is the meaning of WR here. So suppose this W belongs to A and B. Okay, so the meaning of WR here is, it means, it says that that suppose the string of WR is the reversal of the string. Okay, so if I say that at a particular time W is AB, WR will be a BA. So the string becomes your ABB. Okay, so at a particular time the string if is AW, then the reversal of this A will be A also. So that is also a reversal. In the same way, some similar string that at a particular time that string W is this. So the WR will be, you take a reversal of it. A, B, B, A. Okay. A, B, B, A. Okay. So this is the reversal. Okay. Now, can you say that, that this is a regular language or not? Just tell me. There is no finiteness here because W belongs to AB, so AB can extend to any length. What do you think? Okay, so Mahak has said no. Daksh also said no. Anybody else? Okay, only two no's. Okay, you are absolutely correct. Now, if you again clearly see this, that I have to again remember something. Okay, so how to remember that I have seen a AB, I have to see the reverse of it. I have to see the reverse of it. Only then I need to go to the final state. Okay, so in that way, I have to remember this W part to parse the WR part. So that means that we have a memory space. So because of the memory, you can directly say that this is no, that it's not regular. Okay, this is not regular. Now, if I again take this question and I say that WWR, where the length of the W is equal to 2, where the length of the W is equal to 2. Is this a regular language or not? So I have fixed the length of the W. Okay, so I think most of you are getting my point now. Because of fixing the length of W, it means you can only get a string that are of length 2 here. So what are the two length string? That will be your AB, uh, AB for W, BA for W, BB for W, and AA for W. So take a reverse of it, BA, and it will become AB. So this is BB also, and this is your AA. So this is your W, this is your WR. So I have given you a condition that the length of the W is 2. By doing this, you only get like 4 strings. Okay, so it is your finite, it becomes a finite language. Only 4 strings are possible in that. So for that finite language, I can think you can easily draw automata following any number of states. So you can easily draw NFA for this particular language. There is no need to remember anything. Okay, so that is the concept behind it. Okay, so if you're looking at anything that is a finite thing, you directly say that this is acceptable and this is a regular language. Okay, so the answer of this is yes, this is a regular language. Okay, so if I again say like again the another variant will be W followed by another W, and I'm again saying that W belongs to any input alphabet, that is A and B star. Okay, so can you say that this is regular or not? So think about it, take some strings and think about it, will it be regular or not? For seventh one. Okay, so most of you are getting my point here. Okay, so there are two no's, yeah, three no's, yeah, yes. Okay, so this one is again a not regular. Why is not this regular? If you again take a string, take string like A, B. Now this is W, then I have to again place a W here, that is AB. In the same way, if I take a string ABA, then I have to again place the same string ABA. Again, I have if place the string ABBA, so I have to again place a string ABA. So I have to remember this W string that I have seen this string, and I have to place the exact string. After seeing the exact string that I got in the W, I can only go to the final state. So I have to accept, I need a memory to remember that in W that this ABBA exists here. So I have to see another ABBA. Okay, so that is the concept here. So I need to remember it, means there is memory needed here. So if there is memory needed, you can directly say that this is not regular. Okay, so still if you're not understanding it, don't worry about it, think about it, take some languages out of it, and you can directly identify it. If you're not able to identify it, don't worry about it. We will do plenty of question in the next tute. I will give the language identification very like 10 or 20 questions regarding this only. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay, so we will also do plenty of questions here. Okay, so the last question, after that question, we will move on to the quiz here. So I think your time is 12:20. So okay. This quiz, this question is fairly very basic. A raised to power n, b raised to power n, c raised to power m, n m o. So I say c raised to power o, where n m o is greater than equal to 1. Is this language a regular language? Can you draw automata of it? Yes. So eighth, yes. Okay. So Daksh, Mayank also got the right answer. Okay. So it is yes. Because if you remember, you can directly write a regular expression. First of all, it is A star, B star, and C star. Okay. So these stars are not dependent upon each other. By writing that star, I directly mean that they are not dependent upon each other. So I am just ending. Okay. So again, I can do one question here also. That is your A raised to power something like n, b raised to power 2n. Okay, so again, I will again tell you a trick here to do where I and j is equal to or greater than 1. Is this regular here? Ninth question, can anybody tell me?
So what is I and J here? Expression में
Oh,
है नहीं I.
sorry for that. This is n. Okay, so I think most of you are getting the point here that this is not a regular language. Okay, so I have to see two A's. I have to remember that I have seen two A's. I have to see four B's. In the same way, I have seen one A. I have to remember I have seen one A. Then I have to see two A's, two B's. In the similar way, now you can directly, if you look at it, the simplest solution is always the correct one. If you look at it, when you get the similar kind of a variable uh, raised to power here on the A and B here, when these two are dependent upon each other, you can directly say it that this is not a regular language. Okay, so this is again one trick that you can directly say it that if there is n and on the another one there is also n here, so it directly means that this is depending upon the upon A here. So it directly means that this n is dependent upon this n. What is the value of this? Will be the value of this. So directly you can say that this is not a regular language. So this is another way to identify. If you are doing these questions, how to identify these regular languages, you can again, if you do lots of questions, you can identify that wherever there is dependence upon the same variable is written, you can directly say it that this is not regular. Okay, so some variable like this, if I just say like this, a raised to power n, b raised to power n, and c raised to power m. Okay, so for that n and m, I say that it is raised to power 1. Okay, so I think now you understand my point here. So is this regular or not? Just tell me. Okay, so I think most of you are getting my point because of this n and this n, you can directly say that there is some dependence between A and B. Okay, you can directly say that this is not a regular language. Okay, so it is not a regular language. Okay, so how can you recognize this? By doing more and more questions, you can easily identify without using any formal method that something is regular or something is not. Okay, so don't worry about it. If you are attempting any competitive exam for ISRO's and GATE or IES or another examinations, the most of the question will be from this part that they will give you a certain language. Okay, so for that certain language, they will ask whether this language is a regular language or a context-free language or a context-sensitive language. Okay, so if you remember that certain language, if it is regular, it is also context-free, it is also context sensitive. Okay, so always go for the higher level. I will tell you about this thing, don't worry about it. Okay, so I think that is enough for today. We will do more question in the next one, and we will try to do pumping lemma also. I will cover the pumping lemma in the next lecture, as well as some other more practice question. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay, so I hope you have studied the previous chapters here.